Good afternoon. I'm honored to join CARICOM and RSC International to both inspire and celebrate girls in ICT and the boys who support them. My name is Heidi Curry. I'm the founder of Ocean Academy High School on the small island of Key off of the coast of Belize. I served both as the principal for Ocean Academy and the chair of the Belize Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, and it's an honor to spend some time with you today. What I'll be talking with you about is something near and dear to my heart, and it has to do with social enterprise. It's when we use business to solve and fund social needs. In this case, business is a great way for students to immerse themselves in learning invaluable skills that they absolutely cannot learn in a textbook alone. We're going to talk about how at your school, whether you're a student or a teacher, a principal, administrator, education leader, parent, interested community member, that this can happen in your school. And I'd like to encourage you to join us in a region-wide effort to develop tech clubs. And in those tech clubs, to develop the skills and mindset needed to start a business. And it's not all easy, it doesn't happen overnight, but I'm here to inspire you to get started. So, as I mentioned, Keycocker is this beautiful little island here off of the coast of Belize. And we opened a school that really we were bare bones. We needed to fundraise. School was not paid for by the government. The students struggled. We struggled as a school. And so, from those experiences, we developed a number of school businesses. So, I'd like to start off this presentation by inspiring you to follow along with the vision that I have for you. As a creative, innovative girl in ICT, you look forward and you envision that you are part of a legacy to begin a club and a social enterprise on your campus. And across the region, we see it alive with tech clubs and all of the technology needed to enter this ever changing world. The tech club is can vary in size. A good number is 15, could be 8 to 10, could be that you meet on a couple of different sessions. Nonetheless, you envision this tech club certainly including girls and boys. You have trainings. I'll be telling you about some virtual trainings that are set in a number of modules from asynchronous to synchronous learning, as well as ways to reach out to community members so that you do have, as you can see here, sitting at the desk and learning theory. There are a lot of simulations that you'll get to hear about, as well as hands-on. So when you have computers that are broken on campus, there's no better way to sample busting that thing open, especially when you know some of them are at the end of their life, and really getting to know the insides. And then once you have some experience being able to repair computers and the feeling that you get inside when you've accomplished such an amazing feat. So, as part of your team, that is your club, you will be part of the students leading and thinking about the what way ahead you will take for reaching out to um, people in your community to find out what kinds of needs they have in technology, figuring out who on your campus will be interested to join, which teachers, maybe extra staff members. They can be teachers in STEAM. Any teacher in any area may have an interest in technology and may be the right mentor for your team. You also need to reach out to your principal and get everybody on board. So when you do that, you'll start thinking about, well, what exactly are those services that our community might need and be willing to pay for, and that we could learn to provide so that we can earn money, and we can earn money for our teacher mentors' stipends, and we can earn money for our school to reinvest in the equipment and training that we need to have this type of learning. So one of them, this picture in my mind, is representing optimizing devices. So some people get frustrated because their computer is running slowly, and when you start to learn what you can do about that, you can optimize it so that you clean it up and have it work a lot faster, and can make people revitalize a computer they might otherwise think is at the end of its life. Lights here. So I want you to imagine that, a number of opportunities that keep growing in phones where the video is sharp enough that you can make green screen video productions. You can have other members of your community that want to put out a social media ad. Maybe somebody who has an idea, but they just don't know how to put it forward with the technology. Then you and your team can practice and learn and grow and set up green screens with lights and cameras and let them be a star in their social media. Wi-Fi. This is a huge need. Every time we have a new building built, a home that wants to now have Wi-Fi for the first time, businesses that need to upgrade, it's a huge need and it's not going anywhere. And that skill of networking is a hands-on experience that you can learn. So imagine that you would, in order to start, you would need a crimping tool and some Cat5 wire. And then we can talk more in the future about how to make that work for exterior versus interior applications. And some of the students tend to have a better success with the physical, needing drills and installing them in walls and getting those lines set up. Others might be more focused on the software side of things. You also need to think about the design of where you station the different aspects of the network. Security cameras, also something that relates to the wires. So you're installing those wires around the building. You're determining what kinds of cameras should be in what type of application, and then bringing it back to the brain or the place where it's recording the video, and also most likely so that someone can see that recording on their phones. So again, you have the hardware side, you have the software side, huge market where a lot of people need this help, and that could be you. Digital marketing, so whether it's Photoshop or using Canva, many free software programs that are out there where those of you that are creative can develop those ideas. Those can be marketed to customers, and it can also market your own business. So as this gets going, then you'll see that, yes, you need to keep reinvesting. You think of it as being a founder to a business, getting those training hours where those are not yet where you're earning money. But before you know it, you'll be ready to start marketing some of your first skills and bringing money in. Now, when it comes to social enterprise, customers are more interested in spending money with things that they feel like if they get a choice between one business that is just earning money for profit and another business that is earning money that will keep students being able to buy the device they need for school, perhaps buy the uniforms, the tutoring, in some cases the school fees. So when they know that they're contributing to an education of a student as well as helping a school grow its technology, they're more likely to want to do business with you. And we have certainly seen that at my school, which I'll share a bit about. Now that you have a good idea of the vision that we're establishing for a tech club social enterprise, I want to take a step back and give you a little glimpse into what it's like on Ocean Academy campus, where you're going to see social enterprises in action. You're going to get to hear from faculty, staff, and most importantly, students about their experiences. This particular video was done recently by a very close friend of the school's, Canadian singer-songwriter Danny Michelle. And it's testament to why it's so important to have the courage to just reach out to people even when they're strangers. Many years ago, we reached out to him because he had written a song that mentioned Key Cocker, and we said, hey, this school would love for you to be involved. And so you can see his enthusiasm and the relationship he's built with those students over the years, and in this case, giving exposure to their social enterprise.
March 18th, 2024, back at the Ocean Academy.
A few weeks ago, I made it back to Belize to check on the Ocean Academy, and this time I brought my pal Rob Carley. Rob's been involved in fundraisers for the school I've done over the years, but this time he wanted to see it for himself. In partnership with G Adventures, the students have been hosting an excursion called Bike with Purpose, a bicycle tour of the island with their local perspective.
Students tour around the island, basically showing around history, showing around important places that they might know while being in Hikaka.
It helps students to make money and to pay a part of their school fees and put up towards your personal account.
As you may know, education is not free in Belize. This is a way for students to pay for their own education whilst gaining money. Half goes to their tuition, half goes in their bank accounts.
Yeah. It's a good business class too. They learn a little bit about economics.
Rob got to meet everyone, learn about all the programs, including art, jewelry making, and the newest initiative, Kayak with Purpose.
I can tell you from my perspective as a student, I was able to play for my entire 4 years of high school.
Wow.
Just in these trips, I was in bike and kayak with purpose.
Yeah.
And it helped my parents, meaning Hadiani said the money goes to our bank account and then to our paid tuition fees. So it's like beneficial to both students and parents.
So it's not an understatement to say this is a game changer.
Yes.
If you are on the island to ever come visit, this is a great way to meet the kids and go on a trip with them and help in another way too. So.
Yes, so I'm a licensed tour guide, certified rescue diver, and certified emergency first responder. So I'm here for safety.
Safety. Keep it safe.
The way you can find them is simple ways. One, if you look at their roots, they look like spider legs. So that's one way you can tell them. Two, if you look in the water, you see the redness in it.
So I'm Hayel,
And I'm Nisani.
and what we do there is it's in the name, we make jewelry. We learn different techniques on how to make earrings, how to make bracelets, rings, and all that.
Do you think that when you are raising money with this way, is it helping your family also?
Yeah, it's helping my family, probably my family too, with our educations, especially when you're helping a newborn brother or something. This will probably help most kids.
So it's really important.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's beautiful stuff. Really.
And for the SHB course, we have 2 periods of solely mixed media art. So these ones are jelly plate printing. And so you have a jelly plate and you put acrylic paint on it and you make these prints, right? And then this is acrylic painting that we made. It just gives us a chance to experiment with so many different art styles and art types.
So if you're visiting Belize, be sure to pop by the school, say hi for me, pick up some art, some jewelry, and take one of the tours with the kids. And thanks so much to my pal Rob, who came down to check it out. And huge thanks to everyone who's helped before made a donation. With new kids coming in every year, lives are constantly being changed. It's a beautiful thing. I'm so inspired by these kids. And if you feel like you're inspired and want to help out or know more, there's lots of links provided below. Thanks so much.
Now we're going to hear about some of the on-the-ground personal experiences of Mikhail Rosado. And Mikhail was a student who was very involved in Bike with Purpose, Kayak with Purpose, and then he was also involved in a lot of the things that we do to immerse students in new ideas along the way with mentors. So he had a mentor, Mr. Neal, and different teachers and clubs so that he got to get his hands inside those computers. And he decided after graduation to study technology. In his courses, those were mostly software. He really didn't get any hardware experience, but we ended up hiring him back on our campus, and we're so excited he's there. And many of the things that he learned in high school, he's now reapplying in his job. And one of those is to be a manager for social enterprise. So you're going to hear his perspective on what it's like to grow it from that side. And he's also going to share a lot of tips about repairing computers. He's our main repair person on campus. And he's going to explain that he learned most of this all on his own. And he's now mentoring other students. So he's going to share those ideas with you now.
So my experience as a student, my mother, she told me she only had to pay for the registration, to get me initially into school. After that, I immediately joined the With Purpose programs, Bike with Purpose and Kayak with Purpose. And from there, I was able to pay for my entire 4 years of high school. Some people may know, but education is not free in Belize. So we have to pay for our education. Our parents have to pay. My mother was a single mother, still is, and she was sending 2 students to high school, 2 children. So it was very hard on her, and I was very aware of that at a young age, of her having to pay bills, her struggling. So I was hopeful I could one day help. And when I heard of the with purpose programs when I joined Ocean Academy, it was just an easy answer for me. Join them. It's not only you gain money, you also gain very useful skills. For example, I was able to develop my communication skills. I only spoke Creole growing up, not so much Spanish. So my English wasn't good entering high school. Um, Having to speak to guests regularly helped me develop these communication skills. And more than that, too, my peopling skills, be able to relate to people, be able to understand people emotionally, and such like that. We, the student, are the one leading the guests on this experience. They got to see the island through our eyes. So each student is different. They do a tour that's that's different from the others. It's personalized. For example, I would show them stuff that I like. Um, Take them to my little cool spots that maybe me and my friends know about that I think they would like to see. And of course, we would bring them to Ocean Academy and talk to them about the history of our school. Me as a student, we were always in meetings and we were discussing future stops and what more can we add to bike with purpose and kayak with purpose.
How does all this link to something that could be a tech with purpose? Because that's a bit different. What do you think are the ideas that students can put in, and what do you think are some of the skills they can get out?
Well, each student, they may find that they are interested in a different field of technology. So we can get students who are interested in technology and the with purpose program, but they may not be sure what field of technology they're interested in, and they can discover it through the with purpose program. And from there, we can help them build their skills. These are stuff that are easy to learn. I, for one, like got my hardware skills through my mentor, and a majority of it through YouTube. So as long as they have a mentor and they have the drive, I think they can learn any skill. So it might feel or look intimidating when you open the computer and there's all these little parts. But for me, when I'm repairing a computer, I have like this troubleshooting mindset. I start from the simplest solution. For example, I may just start by restarting the computer if something doesn't work, pressing the power button, something simple. Or the easiest thing I want to do is to solve the issue without having to open the computer. But if I have to, I open the computer and pretty much it looks the same. You'll see a motherboard, you may see a hard drive, a solid state drive, something storage wise. You'll also see RAM. There are newer computers where these stuff are soldered on, so that means like sort of like they're welded on. Yeah, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same thing. You'll see a motherboard, you'll see these storage devices, you'll see a battery, you'll see cables connecting for the LCD, for the Wi-Fi, stuff like that. It was very, like I said, intimidating having to open the first computer. I was dreading having to open it. I was just trying to solve it without having to open it. I looked up some tutorials on YouTube. I followed the step by step, and to be honest, like I don't have this very shocking story where like, oh, I did something bad or I failed at it. It was pretty simple, just following the steps that I learned from my mentor and following the steps that I'm seeing on YouTube. So like it was just very simple, an easy fix. Most common thing I see is your computer not turning on, like the screen just staying black. So the power button or the power light may blink on, but nothing displays on the screen. That's the most common thing I see. And the fix for that is what we call a power wash. You do have the opening computer sometime. We would hold down the power button for about 30 seconds to drain all the power out of the computer, all the static energy. Unplug the battery, do the same thing, hold it down for about 30 seconds. Then we will plug it the power source being the charger into the computer without the battery plugged in and turn it on. And if it works, your issue is solved. You turn back off the computer, plug in the battery, close everything up. That's the most common thing I get. Yeah, so the first time I actually got to work on camera installation is when I started working here at Ocean Academy. We were installing some cameras, and I got to assist the person who was installing it. I see that it's not so hard. It's very simple. Surprisingly, the easiest part is actually installing it, like the hardware part. The sort of harder part would be like the software, depending on the NVR and your camera software. But it's pretty simple. So you'd install it in the position you'd like. Most of the time you'd screw it in. You'd just plug it in, because a lot of these cameras now, they're just plug and play. They have a Ethernet connector. You'll plug it in and you'll plug it into the NVR or your switch from your networking source. Definitely need some drills, and also depending if you're installing it on a surface that's wood or cement. You'll need like those more powerful drills. You'll also need screws. You'll need wire as well. Wire, the Ethernet wire, preferably the outdoor ones that are shielded, because majority of the camera installations that I've seen happen, the wires are running outdoor. Here on the island, at least, maybe like if you're doing it mainland, they may install it indoors. The crimper is basically to, so you have these little connectors that's on the internet. We use RJ45. So I'm not sure if anyone watching this has ever seen one of those Ethernet connectors, but they have all these little wires of different colors. You'll have to install it in the RJ45 and push them in, and to set the pins, to let the pins like penetrate the wire and hit the copper inside, you'll need the crimper. So basically, like, you'll plug it into this crimper. So it's a little tool, and you'll press down to set the pins. Anti-static, like wristbands. It's this little wristband that you wear that you kind of like clip onto something metal to just take all the static energy out of your body. Because if you have a lot of static buildup and you touch something important, then you may mess it up. For me, my characteristics that I think may be able to like learn all these things is I'm curious. I think that that's all it takes, is to have a curious mind. And I don't think necessarily you need to already be born with this desire or this skill in technology. I think all you need to do is have a curious mind. I did all like the research on YouTube, on Google, asked my mentor for advice. So like I said, you don't need to basically do like a course or a degree to learn this type of stuff. You can just do it on your own. You just need the curiosity and interest. Yeah, so video editing is another skill I had to learn on my own. And it came through, again, just curiosity and interest. But there's a lot of free software out there, and that's what I use. One of them is DaVinci. There's another one called Shotcut. Those are the software I use, and for me, it's helped me like with projects for school. You always want it looking the best. So to be able to do those stuff on my own without having to seek help or to pay someone to do it is very helpful. Also, here at work, I often edit videos for the organization, for the school. For example, when there's like graduation stuff, I would edit the graduation videos. So it's very helpful. Our school, Ocean Academy, was one of the first in Belize to start using devices, computers, instead of textbooks. When we first started using computers, I didn't know like anything about a computer. It was so new to me. And I think it was my second year where we got introduced to using devices. By the third year, a lot has changed, not just with me, but with technology. Stuff like evolves every year and fast. There's always a huge leap. If you sleep up for like a year, by the next year you'll be behind. It's just this growing thing in the world, all around the world, not just in Belize, that you just want to be a part of. You don't want to get left behind. I can see like in the very near future our world being filled with technology. Imagine being surrounded by stuff you don't understand. You may feel overwhelmed, you may feel scared. I would just plead to them to don't let your students be left behind, or don't send them in a world where they aren't familiar with. Watching these students and thinking back, I was in their same position. So like I said, that's this full circle moment. It's just so cool to be able to come back and sort of like oversee everything and manage everything and help build it back up, because the CARICOM purpose fell apart during COVID. We're basically starting from scratch, and it's just this surreal feeling.
So now that you're feeling confident that you can, in fact, jump in and start your own tech club, get ready to get started with social enterprise. I'll share a few more tips and testimonials along with contact information. I recently asked our business teacher, Ms. Levy Florian, what should I share to help other schools? And she had been a student at Ocean Academy and involved in social enterprise. And so having the experience on both sides, and now as one that's helping students market the program, she said, consumers really do care about the cause. And so I wanted to draw your attention to two examples that helped us in our early days, and that's Tom's Shoes and 10,000 Villages. Tom's Shoes is a company that for every pair of shoes they sell, they provide another pair to someone who needs the shoes. And those shoes became very popular among young people. 10,000 Villages is a store that sells beautiful items that are handmade by artisans around the world, and it sells them at higher prices that they can send back to those artisans. And a lot of people like to buy their gifts and different items there. So it's great to be inspired and learn how to get your message across about what an important role your school business plays for your students and your school. How to get started. Take action, iterate, try it over and over again. Find champions. You just need a few teachers, students, parents, volunteers, and identify a few ideas to get started. Make sure you sign up for some training, network with folks in your community, and find some passionate mentors. You just need to ask. Don't be scared to fail early and fail often. That's what innovation is all about. Wherever possible, see if you can get some of those innovative ideas into different areas of your school curriculum. It's always a good idea to reinvest your funds, and that would be into equipment, into training, and even into stipends for the teachers or faculty or staff that will be taking this on. Be sure to network and share what you're doing, promote what you're doing, and believe, because you can do this. A competition that you may want to look into is the School Enterprise Challenge, but just as important is their website, schoolenterprisechallenge.org. They have fantastic resources to help small businesses get off the ground. These are some important stakeholder messages to share with you.
Every high school in the country, in the world, please add this curriculum into, social enterprise into your everyday curriculum. It changes, it's real world experiences, and that's truly what children need. Guidance to, what's their next step. I'm also a mentor for Ocean Academy, and we help these children, guide them to the next step. If they want to become a cosmetologist, we help guide them that. If that's not what they want to do, they'll go on to the next step and they will choose what they want to do next. So I encourage every principal to move forward and put that into their curriculum.
Changing the curriculum and the way things are done is difficult. Tradition is there to be honored, but it is also there to be broken. Break the barrier and become the change for your country, for your school. These students are 100% of our future, and us as educators, guiders, must attend to aspirations. We must just create a world in which they feel comfortable, safe to share their own dreams, and be willing to chase them without being judged, regardless of what they choose to become. And allowing this social enterprise to be engaging and entertaining, tackle these students' curiosities and establish them into social enterprise, find the issue within the community, a need. There is where you'll find what to do, because big things will always start small, and it is better to start sooner.
And finally, stay connected. Be sure that you sign up for more information by either using this QR code or using this link that you see right here, and feel free to follow up with me with any questions you may have. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Digital Silence, Justin Whitehead and Aaron Beffa, our technology teachers, Javier Alegria and Jermaine King, Mr. Neal, our very first technology mentor, Of course, Raj Ramdas and the Restore a Sense of ICANN team that has been phenomenal in providing trainings to us on a number of occasions. I'd also like to say thank you to Mr. Omar Longsworth at Independence High School and BAPS and all the principals who've been so supportive to encourage this spread of technology. Have a fantastic Girls in ICT Day. Thank you.